Hi everybody, Shannon Petrovich with Therapist Talks. 6 strategies to conquer codependence. Codependence is the overdependence on others for your sense of self, sense of safety, and sense of mattering. When you feel empty, scared, and worthless whenever you're alone, you're codependent. When you only feel complete, content, and happy when others are filling you up, you're codependent. When it takes others to make you feel confident, competent, safe, or worthwhile, you're codependent. In a sense, codependency is the compulsive need for a person or people, much the same way alcohol dependence is a compulsive need for alcohol. When we are codependent, we keep ourselves in unhealthy relationships with partners, sometimes irresponsible or drug-addicted adult children, friends, or family members. When we are codependent, we don't set sensible boundaries. We don't get free when we need to. We also enable and rescue when we need to let go and let the chips fall where they may. We can also be so enabling and rescuing that our loved ones can't possibly grow up or become mature or independent. Codependency runs the whole gamut, but can be as serious as alcohol dependency. Here are 6 strategies to begin your journey to a healthier independence and interdependence. Number 1, take stock of your current codependency and the damage it's doing to you and your relationships. Identify the current main focus of your codependency, if there is one or some, or the most recent if you currently have none. Who are they and what do you have to have from them to feel okay? Do you have to talk to them every day, see them every day? How do you feel when you don't? What's your behavior like when you don't get what you want or need from them? What do you put up with or not say, and what boundaries don't you set in order to enable and rescue them because you're afraid that loved one will abandon you if you stand up for yourself? What do you do to get them to give you what you need, even when they don't want to? How do you feel about this relationship? Do you ever feel people are distancing from you or pushing away because you came on too strong or were too clingy or needed too much from them? Were you ever smothering or suffocating of others? Often we find when we get into the cycle of demanding attention from others, we feel filled but guilty at the same time. It's not as satisfying or fulfilling in the same way as when someone wants to be with you to share time as 2 whole people. A codependent relationship has no space for either person to have their own friends or interests or time apart. The insecurity is just too intense. When you need a person versus wanting to spend time together, you will manipulate and pressure when you don't get the attention you want. It's like the difference between needing to drink and just having a casual drink. When you're addicted, you feel a compulsion to drink. Your time, attention, focus, energy, and intensity are on that drink. And if anyone stands in your way, they'll get mowed down. Codependency carries that intensity of compulsivity with it. You have to have that attention, that support, that bolstering, or you feel empty and lost. So now you have an idea of how your codependence looks and how it's affecting you and your relationships. So number 2, becoming a whole person. Becoming a whole person in part means you have to become your own best friend. You have to push past the discomfort of spending time alone and embrace who you are, what your life is about, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Take a journal and go outside or go for a walk or a hike or even a drive somewhere peaceful and beautiful. Of course, you can meet yourself anywhere, so if you can't get away, just turn off your electronics and be with yourself right where you are. Here are some things to write about. What do you like and respect about yourself? Be really specific and focus on your character, your values, and what matters to you. Write what aspects of yourself you want to be stronger in your life. How do you want to change and grow? What do you want to be thinking or feeling in the near future, in the far-off future? How do you want to feel about yourself in the near and far future? And what would it take for you to feel that way about yourself? Some of this understanding of who you are and what your strengths are and what matters can come from others' feedback to you. If you're struggling to see good things about yourself, look at the feedback you get from those who care about you. When I ask clients what they like about themselves, they often come up blank. But as I ask them how others see them at work, at home, or in their friendships, they'll often say, well, I'm good at my job, I work hard, I make others laugh, I'm a good friend, I care about others, I'm honest, I'm genuine, I care about making sure the job gets done and done well. So taking stock, getting to know yourself and getting comfortable spending time with yourself are these crucial steps. Then write what you would say or do differently in your relationships if you didn't fear them abandoning you. How would you speak your truth? Stand up to them, stop rescuing and enabling. Number 3, recognize that you are a unique individual and others are also completely unique. As this really settles in, you can fully realize that tying your worth to someone else's fleeting thoughts, feelings, or attitudes about you is really absurd. Leo Buscaglia, who is a great writer, used to say, if you're a grape aspiring to be a melon, you're always going to feel like a failure. You'll always see yourself as too small, too significant, too purple. This sounds like a silly analogy, but it's so true. You can only work to be the best you. You can't compare yourself to anyone else and feel good about yourself. You'll always come up short trying to be like anyone else. Your journey and your attributes and your stories are uniquely you, and these all combine to give you the abilities and the gifts to share with others that are uniquely yours. When you realize this, you begin to see how your gifts can create the life you feel good about. So be the best you, develop your best aspects, and work to love your worth. Number 4, learn to fill yourself up. The myth underlying codependency is that you are empty and others are there to fill you, to complete you, and to make you feel better. This just isn't true. It's no one else's job to fill you or complete you, and the sooner you really get this, the happier you will be. When you lean on others for what is your responsibility, you will get a lot of pushing away, resentment, and drama in your relationships. When you start to fill yourself from the source, you will find you are a complete and whole person, and you can offer a richness when in relationship with others instead of being a drain on them. So to learn to fill yourself, you have to decide for yourself what your beliefs are. I'm not going to tell you what to believe, but encourage you to find what you believe. What is the source? Most belief systems are rooted in God being love or light. And if you think of God or the greater good or even your higher self or the collective consciousness as the source of our soul's spark of love or light, then learn to breathe, meditate, or pray so that you can recharge, rejuvenate, and refill yourself. When you're able to do this yourself consistently, you can feel whole and rejuvenated and recharged without asking that of someone else. When you learn to recharge from the source, you can become whole and independent. So learn to recharge from your source. Number 5, as a whole person capable of recharging yourself, you can begin to think of togetherness as two wholes sharing and caring about each other. These types of relationships are healthy, reciprocal, relaxed, and enjoyable. Neither is over-dependent on the other. They're both whole and enjoy their alone time and their together time. You can give each other space and rejoice in the returning to each other with tales to tell and thoughts and experiences to share. When you feel less than whole, fill yourself up before you reconnect with your people. Don't go to them expecting them to make you whole. Remember, they are not responsible for making you complete. When you have something difficult to say or a boundary to set, speak it. Only those who disrespect and disregard you will not accept truth and boundaries, and you don't want them in your life anyway. As you speak truth and boundaries, you will naturally weed out those who use and abuse you, and you will be free of their abuse and drama. And number 6, broaden your world. Typically, codependent people shrink their world in order to feel more in control, less afraid, and able to manage fewer things than people. But when you are a whole, solid person, you can expand your world to include many different people, activities, volunteer interests, and adventures. As you expand your world, see how this builds your sense of self. Since we do get some of our best understanding of who we are through feedback from others, this expansion of our world can be very enriching. Broadening your world helps you to become more comfortable in more areas with more people and less codependent on those few who used to feed you. Strike out on an adventure on your own, without solid plans and with some risk. This is the best way to see how you handle life's hurdles and challenges and to develop a stronger sense of self and wholeness. When you become your own best friend, take care of yourself, learn to fill yourself from your source, speak your truth and set boundaries, broaden your world, and then greet others from a whole person perspective, you've attained interdependence. It's a much better, happier, more contented state than codependence and will lead to happier, more connected and secure relationships. If you've appreciated this video, please subscribe and please share on your social media. You never know when something you share might help someone else. Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you again soon.